Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really radical idea about immortality, one that suggests the only way to truly live forever is to let your current self die. All right, let's just jump right in. This is a big one, and it's totally counterintuitive, right? I mean, it goes against our most basic instinct for survival. But what if living forever actually means letting the person you are right now just disappear?
When we talk about immortality, this is usually what we're picturing, isn't it? The idea that this version of me, with all my memories, my habits, my little quirks, gets to just keep going forever, unchanged. And that makes sense. It's a totally natural thing to want.
But here's the twist. The philosophy we're digging into today has a really radical take on this. It basically says that nature, the force of evolution itself, looks at the self we're holding onto so tightly and just sees, well, a disposable tool. It calls it a very imperfect, superficial eye of the moment, something temporary that's not even worth preserving. I know, that sounds a little harsh, but stick with me because it's a really powerful idea.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. If this I that we think we are is just temporary, well, then who are we really? It pushes us to ask a much bigger question, and it draws this really clear line in the sand between the personality you have and the person you truly are. So let's break this down. It's like we have two selves. On one hand, you've got the temporary I. That's the superficial personality, the one nature sees as just a tool for a little while. I love the analogy of it being a single footprint in the sand. But then on the other hand, you have the inner person, the soul. This is the eternal part of you. This is the one who's actually making the journey, not just the footprint that gets left behind.
So the soul's goal isn't to just preserve one singular identity forever and ever, not at all. It's on this epic evolutionary journey, and it uses all these different personalities as vehicles to keep moving forward. And this cycle really lays it all out. First, the soul forms a personality to go out and engage with the world. Then, it uses that personality to live a life, to gather experiences. After that, it pulls out the important stuff, the core lessons, the growth. And then, it sheds the form. It just discards that personality, kind of like taking off old clothes. Then, it just repeats the process, creating a new, different personality to take the next step. It shows you that each life we live is just one single step in a much, much bigger journey. Okay, so that naturally leads us to the big question, right? If nature's default setting is to just toss our personality aside when it's done, are we all just doomed to be forgotten? Is there any way for this version of me, the one that's here right now, to continue on?
Well, believe it or not, the answer is yes. There is a way. But, and this is a big but, it's not automatic. It's not a given. It actually requires a bargain, a negotiation with nature itself. We can ask to continue, but nature has its own terms and conditions. And here it is. This is the absolute crux of it all. The one condition for survival is that the temporary I must consent to change. Think about that paradox for a second. The only way to live on is to agree not to stay the same. So straight up preservation, that's off the table. The real secret is continuity through transformation. All right, so let's talk about the price of this continuity. What does this change actually look like? Because we're not talking about making a few minor tweaks here and there. We're talking about a complete and total transformation. And the conditions for this change are, well, they're pretty profound. To keep going, your current personality has to agree to become something else entirely, something greater, something better, more luminous in knowledge. It has to be willing to be molded into the image of that eternal inner beauty, always moving, always progressing towards the divinity of that secret spirit inside all of us. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It says, the true purpose of who you are right now, it's not to be the final product that gets preserved forever in a museum. No, its real purpose is to be a stepping stone. It's a launch pad that you use to propel yourself to the next stage, to get nearer to a higher degree of consciousness and being. So this whole massive philosophical idea, it comes right back down to a very personal choice for you and me, right here, right now. What it's really suggesting is that our own growth, maybe even our very survival in the grand scheme of things, depends entirely on how willing we are to evolve. So the final question isn't about what we want to hold on to. It's about what we're willing to let go of. To become the person you are truly meant to be, what part of your current self would you release?